independence to Guyana. Oh, let's go now, come on.
Yeah, good morning, viewers. Independence fever is in the air. Today is the 27th day of May, and 52 years ago and one day, Guyana became an independent nation. And I think it's very difficult for the nation to capture that feeling that occurred in 1966 when we became independent. That song you just heard was written by an icon of Guyana, Terry Nelson. The Independence Day song is a very old song, and young people should really celebrate or dance up when they hear that song. Today, I was hoping to have a guest here today where we would have been discussing Forbes, Burnham, and independence, and also to look at an issue that is plaguing the country right now amongst our young people, that is crime and its attendant issues. So, but the program today will be a little different. I will just update you on some of the things that we have been doing, and we're going to have an open line. We need to get our independence stronger. And of course, 52 years ago is a relatively young nation. And of course, I know you, the viewers out there, have your views in relation to independence and some of the programs that were introduced subsequent to independence in 1966 to make this nation a very strong one. Forbes Burnham has been at the helm. His hand was on the wheel for advancing the issues of the people of this country. And there were several initiatives that were introduced to address the need for everyone to get on board and put their hands on the wheel so that Guyana can move forward. And when I speak in that context, I talk in relation to what he did in relation to jobs, what he did in relation to young people, what he did in relation to women, what he did in relation to communication, new roads, building different infrastructure kind of facilities to advance the cause of this nation. So today, what I will do today, until my guests come, I don't know whether they will be here anytime soon, but we will be giving you an opportunity out there to talk about Forbes Burnham and independence. So you will have your chance. In fact, programs I've done earlier, whenever the program is up, people always call me subsequently to say, look, I didn't get to say what I wanted to say. So today is your day. Today is your day. You can talk about independence. You can talk about young people. And I want us to focus on young people and crime. I know what Forbes Burnham did subsequent to 1966 to address this issue of crime amongst young people. I know you will reflect that he established an institution called the Guyana National Service. In those years, if you recall, we had the Youth Corps before the GNS, and the Youth Corps was geared towards encouraging our young people not to focus on jobs that you can find on the coast, but to get into the area of agricultural development and to use their initiative in relation to finding jobs of their own. Those were all issues that he was trying to promote in those early years, and then up came the GNS. I was a young man at that time, and then I remember there were a lot of young people across the country who couldn't find jobs. In fact, the state could not have provided jobs for everybody, so there was a need to find some outlet where young people could have been able to contribute the energy that they possess in relation to promoting the interests of this country, and that was channeled into the national service. The Forbes Burnham Foundation that sponsors this program, we have been doing this for a number of years, and we are geared towards ensuring that the legacy of Forbes Burnham is kept alive. You know, sometimes people try to vilify him, to say that he is all kinds of things, except the truth. Some people try to even stain him to call him dictator, but those of us who have worked with him would know that Forbes Burnham is a man who listens to what you had to say. He may not agree with what you say, but he listens to what you had to say. And then he takes action based on all the information that he has gathered together. We have been promoting his legacy by having programs like a mentorship scheme, where we get young people who have just come out of the primary school, entering into secondary school. We take them on, and these kids are children of members of the party that he has founded, the People's National Congress Reform, and also kids whose parents are part of the trade union of which he was a part, the Guyana Labor Union. Added to that, we also have what you call programs outlined each year. We commemorate his birth anniversary on the 20th of February with maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month of activities. We sponsor a lot of sporting activities, table tennis, cricket, and also our premium sporting activities, our cycle race. We started with just one leg from Georgetown to Belfield and back, but over the years we have extended that race. We have gone to Linden, Georgetown to Belfield and back. Then further on, the past 3 years, we have been having 3 legs now. We have been going from New Amsterdam to Corriverton and back. Or we go to Corriverton and come to New Amsterdam as the first leg. Then we come to Georgetown, go to Linden and back. Then we come from Georgetown to Belfield and back. And we have also been sponsoring essay competition among schools in Georgetown. Our last engagement for sports had the participation of over 40 schools from Region 3, 4, and Georgetown. Region 3 and 4, including Georgetown. That activity was a very successful one, and we are hoping that next year we can do a little better in relation to organizing these activities in memory of one of Guyana's greatest sons. We have just celebrated. I know the feeling of celebration is still in the air, but I would like you, the members of the public and the listening public, who have been around during those years, who have been sharing those years subsequent to independence, today's your day to talk about independence and what it has really mean to you as an individual, as a community, as a group, as an organization. What has independence mean to you? Then if we have enough time, obviously we will go into the area of crime among our young people and what has been happening over the years. I notice if you look at, that's the topic that my guest was supposed to be addressing today, primarily, but not yet in the studio, so we will not be wasting our time. We will be going straight into opening the lines so you can make your contribution towards this program today, which is your program. I should tell you too that there is a way in which you can become a part of the Forbes Burnham Foundation. we are open to additional kind of membership. Those persons who are interested in the activities that we have been organizing and have been conducting over the years, you can contact us. You can contact the chairman of the foundation, Mr. Vincent Alexander, whose number is 624-2057, or you can contact the vice chairperson, Mr. Gillian Gall. Her number is 610-8676, or you can call me also at 682-5462. Those three numbers you can call if you have an interest in becoming. Morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, and how are you? Happy Independence.
Happy Independence to you too.
I could say I was a girl of 9 years.
Okay.
I could remember all the events. When Sister Mavis and all of them leave Forbes and coming down. Well, you know, you smile, you didn't understand until when you start to get more advanced in age. What was the meaning when they came down and when that Union Jack lower and our flag went up, our golden iron head. Oh, some they cry with tears of sorrow, and some cry with joy, and some cry of maybe they had known what would have been happening in the background after Mr. Burnham left. Maybe you know something would have happened.
Yeah.
But I could remember I was a child, so I could remember when that flag came down. I be staying to watch it.
Yeah.
That's all. And I could remember it was such a happy celebration. But as the time goes on and of lately who are taking make this whole place come, I don't know what to say, but in the name of the Lord, it would come back to how Mr. LFS had it. And national service wasn't a problem. It make you come good and you come out properly. Right?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks for calling. That was our first caller reflecting on the days she knew Guyana became an independent nation. We should focus on what it is to be independent. You know, the colonial had the kind of Commonwealth. We are all kind of members of the Commonwealth group of nations, and to become an independent state, it meant that we had to depend on ourselves to advance our cause. We were dependent on ourselves to advance the interests of the country, both socially, economically, and politically. But over the years, we're now 52 years old, not a very old nation, but still relatively young. And there are a number of things that are taking place at the moment, which would certainly enhance the development of our peoples. We're still kind of reflecting on Guyana's independence from 1966 to 2018, 52 years. We need to look back and see what has happened over the years. I'm still open to calls. You, the members of the public who have been with this program over the years, it's your opportunity to contribute to today's program. I would also allow you to discuss and raise the issue of our young people and crime. Forbes Burnham addressed the issue of crime amongst our young people in those days by establishing an institution called the Guyana National Service that provided training and exposed them to a variety of skills that served them well subsequent to their departure from the GNS. It was also introduced in schools. There was the Young Brigade and National Cadet Corps, the YBNCC. That was a program that was geared towards encouraging our young people to be focusing very early in their lives on development of Guyana. And it was an entire package that dealt culturally. They were involved in exchange program amongst themselves. The different races we were able to promote different activities in the institution to make sure that the young people understood what was necessary to really live together as one people, one nation, towards one destiny. I missed that call. Yes, today is your day. You have a chance to talk Forbes Burnham and independence. That's our program title today. We were hoping to discuss in depth from our guest who's not here yet, the question of crime amongst our young people. I am still hoping that we will have our guests here very soon, but we are giving you a chance to talk about independence. I know the feeling yesterday and the day before, there has been lots of celebration amongst the private sector. They have brought back, I can't say reintroduce, but I myself have my own little issue in relation to this new kind of concept. They're calling it kind of carnival. But what has Forbes Burnham done in relation to addressing this whole issue of our cultural mix? He went back and thought it out clearly and came up with a concept called Mashramani, which we celebrate every February in each year. And what does that mean? Mashramani means celebration after hard work. But for this year, I noticed they have on the streets today in the month of May, Carnival. It's the first for a long time I have seen tramping and marching behind bands. It used to be so before 1966 and before we introduced kind of Mashramani. But I think that Mashramani encompassed or included every aspect of that kind of celebration had to address issues. They had various kind of symposium on specific issues being done in the various regions, not just a celebration of marching, but there were other issues to address our cultural mix and our history. Today is your day, like I said. We will be looking at independence, Forbes Burnham and independence, and you're free to call. You're free to call and make your contribution towards this program today. All those of you who have been saying that you never had a chance to call in, this is your day today to call. I'm giving you the opportunity to call and say what you want to say in relation to independence. There has been lots of activities over the past 3 days on our roads. People have been celebrating independence. Some places are well decorated. Some organizations have even sponsored some of their employees to participate in the reveling on the road over the past 2 days. And look at our children at the flag raising. Oh, they look beautiful. What a picture. What a picture that has been. These are some of the things I would like you to talk about, and I would like you to reflect on what has been happening from 1966 to 2018 in relation to the observance of our independence, Guyana as an independent nation. I'm just giving you insights as to the areas that you can talk about. Guyana joined the non-aligned movement during those years. We became a powerful voice in CARICOM. We were able to get the CARICOM leadership, the leadership of the countries that made up CARICOM, to agree that the headquarters of CARICOM should be in Guyana. It is not by magic that that has happened, but it's as a result of the contribution that was made by Forbes Burnham towards the development, the establishment and the development of CARICOM. Those are some of the areas I would like you to reflect on when you call to talk about Forbes Burnham and independence. What have we done? What have we done in relation to our country on the international scene? We were a voice to be reckoned with among the third world nations. We are a voice to be reckoned with among the group of 77 nations. Those are all issues and we were a leading light on foreign policy in the Caribbean for a number of years. We need to get back to those areas. And that all these areas are areas that you should reflect on over the past 52 years. What has happened to our women folk? How has Forbes Burnham addressed these issues? There has been changes in relation. Our women were relegated to just areas of the home, the kitchen and so on. But over the years, he has changed policy to make sure that our women were involved in development of Guyana. Lots of institutions were created. Women became operators of tractors and bulldozers, buses and trucks. Women were trained in these areas. He established the industrial training school. All those issues were issues addressed in advancement of this country subsequent to independence. What has he done in relation to our relationship with the need for countries of Africa to become independent, our role in the freedom of Africa, our role in the development of trade unionism. What has he done in relation to trade unionism? Those are all areas I would like you to really reflect on when we will be reflecting on Guyana's independence, 52 years. How has the nation been able to weather the storm in relation to our relationship with other developed countries? What programs has he put in place to make sure that children benefit from holistic education so that they can understand the need for them to pursue development, remembering where they came from and how they need to contribute to development of the country? What has Forbes Burnham done in those areas? He established a special school referred to as the President's College. The whole idea of the President's College was to train leaders of tomorrow. Young people who performed well at our secondary school were supposed to become leaders because the school had an all-encompassing program to teach our children just not academics, but agriculture and socialization. You need to be exposed to culture. All those things were all part of a package. What has he done in education? When I was young, most of the schools were owned by the church. The church owned a lot of these schools. And what had happened then, you had to be, your parents had to be working somewhere for you to get a scholarship. And if you were poor and could not afford it, then you could not have done the examination because of cost. What has Forbes Burnham done in this area for education? He made education free, from nursery to university. How has that impacted on our people? We today, young people who have benefited from the free education program of Forbes Burnham are playing a vital role in the world, all over the world. They are leaders in CARICOM. They are leaders in organization and institution in this country. All these things have happened as a result of this policy of free education. There are many people who are from the Essequibo, the Pomeroon, Berbice, the Kanji, up the river, Linden, and other kind of communities who have testified that had it not been for those kind of policies, they would not have been able to make it in this life. So all these things that I'm outlining were issues that Forbes Burnham addressed with a view to ensuring that the people of this country advance to realize their full potential. Morning. Oh God, I missed that one again. Yes, so these are some of the issues. I've just highlighted some of the areas that I think you can raise if you share closeness to others and you have more any information that you want to share with members of the public, then you can so call in. Like I said, today's program is dedicated to you. And I want you to make sure that you take advantage of this opportunity. I wouldn't have to be combating with those who say, I don't give them enough time to call in. So today is your call-in time. Today is your chance to talk about Forbes Burnham and independence. Talk about what he has done for this nation. What has he done in the area of culture? You need to remember too, in 1976, our first Carifesta, the Caribbean Festival of Creative Arts, was hosted in this country. And it was all an initiative of Linden, Forbes, Sampson, and Burnham. What has he done in the area of housing? When we talk about Festival City, for young people who doesn't know, the houses that are predominantly exist in Festival City at the moment are houses that were built in 1976, and those were the houses that were occupied by the artists that came down from the kind of Caribbean. So unto this day, that kind of community is referred to as Festival City. Then there are other areas of interest you need to know what he did with trade unions. Let us look at the Tocqueville. What is Tocqueville? Everybody live in Tocqueville. Do you know what Tocqueville means? Trade Union Congress Village. All those houses that are in Tocqueville are houses that were allocated to members of the trade union movement. But the acronym that we use today saying Tuckville is just the Trade Union Congress Village. So the entire community of Tuckville are houses that were allocated predominantly to members of the trade union movement. So there you see the thinking of Forbes Burnham. What has he done in sports? What has he done in sports? Let us look back and see what Forbes Burnham has done in sports and culture. He had contracted a special kind of dancer from Cuba, Miss Lavina Williams, to come down and train our people. Then we had young people going to India to be trained in Kathak kind of dancing. Mr. Philip McClintock went to India, and from what the reports we had, people who have seen him have said he's one of the best trained in India. When he came back here, they were clamored to just see him perform on stage. The trade union movement culture, we had Miss Lavina kind of Williams training our people here, and we had our own kind of local, Mr. Billy Pilgrim, Silas Dolphin. There were a few others who all contributed to our development in culture. Today, we are the beneficiaries of these initiatives of Linden, Forbes, Sampson, Burnham. Every time you go to the culture center, it is one of the largest cultural building they have in the Caribbean, our culture center. One of the largest and well organized. All those things were done in the interest of advancing the cause of Guyanese. Like I said, today we're looking at independence. 52 years and 1 day ago, Guyana became an independent nation. Subsequent to that, in 1970, 6 years after, we became a republic. What is the difference? When we became an independent nation, we were rightfully so politically independent. But what is it to be a kind of republic? A republic, Republican status removed us from the Queen being the head of state for the country. We have our own executive president who is now the head of state. But when you're a republic, when you're not a republic, then you will not be able to exercise that power. So we moved from independent to, and he took the nation to Republican status in 1970. Today we're looking at independence, like I said, and this is your chance, members of the public, to call in and tell me what you think about Forbes Burnham and independence. I've outlined a number of areas things that have happened subsequent to Guyana becoming an independent nation, and it is your turn. It is your turn to say what you know about Guyana and independence and Forbes Burnham, his contribution to Guyana's independence. Additionally, if you are so inclined, we would also like to look at the question of crime amongst our young people. These are all issues that I would like you to raise on today's program, so we can have a kind of discussion, me, you, and the wider public. Whatever you need to raise in relation to crime amongst our youths, as well as Guyana independence. I just would like to update you as well as to what you can do. I have given you an outline as to how you can become a member of the Forbes Burnham Foundation. There are 3 numbers. You can get in touch with our chairman at 624-2057, or you can contact the vice chairperson, Ms. Gillian Gall, at 610-8676, or you can call me at 682-5462. Those are the 3 numbers, and I'm sure that you, if you have an interest, express an interest, we will certainly try to join you up where you'll become part of our activities each year. Every year we have our general members meeting where we have the elections of officers and we review our program for the year. And that is, I see someone is trying to get me back on the cell. Yeah, morning. Yes. 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 Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, I'll give you the number. The number is 223-5192. 223-5192. I should tell you that that's one of the members of the public who is looking at the program, can't see the numbers, so I just called to say that they need to get a number. So the number is 223-5192. Morning, you're on the air.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, morning.
This is the child of the universe.
Yes, sir.
You and I were in class together.
Okay, yes, morning.
1978, I merely had a school leaving certificate.
Mm.
Because of Burnham's policy, I was admitted to the University of Guyana as a, what you call, student, right? I did not have to sit
Oh, I pick up his Uno. Okay, all right. Yes, I know his Uno.
and cook.
Yes.
Yes, I went into the university. I got a scholarship from the University of Guyana to the University of the West Indies. And today I hold a bachelor's degree in social work.
Yeah.
Had it been for Forbes Burnham's policy, that would not have been possible. You know, sometimes I listen to many of those ingrates who benefited from Forbes Burnham policy, and they're the most critics of the man today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said the evil that men do lives after them. Good is forever and stored in their bones.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus said, all have sinned and come short of the glory. So
That's
there's none good,
Uh-huh.
including Mr. Burnham.
Mm.
You understand?
Yes.
And I'd like for us to remember the good that he has done for this country, including me,
Yes.
foremost me.
Uh-huh.
And you know me, Clayton.
Yes, Stanley, I certainly share closest to the things you were saying.
Certainly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like people to reflect on the good that he has done. And all of the issues that you have dealt with are issues that are pertinent.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason that I raise all these issues and topics, that so that people who are listening can know that there's a long list of topics and issues that have been addressed by Forbes Burnham in the interest of this nation.
To commend this program.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this program is bringing back all of those issues that Burnham dealt with, which is pertinent and still pertinent to the development of this country.
Mm-hmm.
I want to commend also the current president of this country for not forgetting the contribution that the Forbes Burnham has made, and it's, you know, repatching some of the things that Burnham did, bringing them back into national policy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things that I hope that fructifies is the national service, you know. And you talk about crime.
Mm-hmm.
National Service was one of the institutions that Burnham brought into being that was dealing with crime.
Yeah, that's right. That's the reason why I raised it.
Many of the persons who dropped out of school and into the National Service, they were developed by the National Service. They acquired skills,
Mm-hmm.
and they did not have time to idle.
Yeah, to be engaged in undesirable conduct.
Exercises and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I see the current president is talking about the youth corps. I hope that transits to the national service, because that is one of the institutions that will absorb those people who are likely to get into unwholesome activity.
Stanley, you know, I should share with you as well. In our time, while I was growing up, I remember there was this kind of concept people used to push forward to say that hard work. They used to kind of to refer to agriculture as hard work.
Yeah,
All work is hard. And Forbes Burnham, I think the idea was to get our young people to focus on the land, to develop the land.
well, we supply this country with minico,
Yes.
pie.
Mm.
Those things we were not importing. Today they're exporting watermelon and all that.
Yeah. The potential in agriculture is tremendous in this country, and Forbes Burnham understood that.
And I see now that the president is, bringing in these young people and so on, and giving them, teaching them business,
entrepreneurial
all this kind of
training. Yes.
Giving them some money as a grant for a start.
Yes.
And that is what is going to swell.
Mm-hmm.
Agriculture is going to come back. I don't want to be critical of the private sector, but when I was going to school, there was a nursery rhyme that goes like this: "Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep."
Yes.
Don't know where to find them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody say, "You leave them alone; they'll come home and bring their tails behind them."
Mm-hmm.
And I see now that the Manufacturers Association, they are starting to feel left out,
Mm-hmm.
and they're asking now for the government to meet together and give them an opportunity, but they have not been taking the opportunity without this. What Granger is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
I see also that they're asking the three parties, the AFC, the EPP, and the
APNU.
come together and let us discuss. So
Because Stanley, there are people, the non-Guyanese companies and organizations out of Guyana are clamoring, are tumbling over each other
come and invest
to get exactly.
and they're feeling left out.
And they're right here. That is what the president was saying. There are people tumbling over each other now, trying to get into Guyana to invest, and they're here. So it's the right approach. They need to get on board, because or else they'll be behind the train.
They're talking about not being employed by Exxon.
Mm.
They're talking about local content. What have they done to develop people so that Exxon can employ them?
Precisely.
Those are all of the things. And as I said, this little nursery rhyme is pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
Leave them alone and they'll come home and bring their tails behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jagdeo now wants to be Caesar's wife. With all of the things that he has done.
Mm-hmm.
What they're talking about sedition and all this nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's forgotten Ben Scott, he's forgotten Monroe, the Monroe and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He's forgotten how he closed down Sharma's television and all of that.
Well,
I think how you lock up the man who was Falcon's representative.
yes.
Fred has gone through those things. I don't want
Yes, arrested a man for nothing at all. Well, of course,
to lock the man up.
his garrulous, but the former garrulous Attorney General is the person who has been mouthing off on these issues, and they don't seem to kind of remember.
If I say the thread that runs through this lockup of these people, if your black people lock up, that's what I'm talking race. I'm talking facts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to.
I looked at the faces of our young people at the flag raising, and there was a certain, I can see coming back to the fore is this spirit of kind of nationalism. You can see the kind of joy. Patriotism.
There's a mass to move the president made.
Of course, I do love it, and have all these children from the schools, because that's where you begin.
Because they're transiting into youth, into them who will run the country. And it's something like national service. It's something like.
In 1966, I was just as excited as them when we became independent.
I was 11. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
All right, Stanley, I think thanks very much for coming through. I should remind our viewers that today, thank you very much. I think today I should tell our viewers that we're talking independence, Forbes Burnham and independence. What has happened since independence? I have given you a number of areas that Forbes Burnham has addressed since he has been president of this country, trying to move Guyana forward. We have played our role nationally. We have played our role regionally. And we continue to play our role internationally. We have been part of many forums around the world. We have been a voice to be reckoned with on foreign policy. We have been a voice to be reckoned with as far as agriculture is concerned, agriculture development. Not to forget, we had the Guyana School of Agriculture that was established. There are many graduates from the Guyana School of Agriculture who have come out and left this country and has gone further afield. And they're doing a tremendous job in Africa, Asia, as well as in North America. Lots of people who have come out from the morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
And a happy belated 52nd anniversary of independence.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm here to say that I am an ex-Guyana National Service member. I served the National Service, and thank God be for Daddy Forbes Burnham. He made me a new Guyana man. I found my wife in National Service.
Okay.
And on to this day, my wife and I and family, we are living a wonderful life.
Yes.
Understand? Because the discipline is still there that we found in National Service.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to see that the youths of today restore that.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Because that is what is the problem upon the face of this dear land of Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
The youth's lack of knowledge and understanding of the birth of this land,
Mm-hmm.
which we are celebrating today, the 52 years of freedom.
Yes.
And they're living by sight.
Mm-hmm.
We're not living by faith and the spirit.
I should share with you as well, you know, when you look at the age group that are engaged in these kind of nefarious and undesirable activities, you will recognize that they have grown up during a period that this country was like a kind of football field that doesn't have any kind of goalposts. And anywhere the ball goes is the right place. So what you are saying is that they need to be grounded as to the origin, the birth of this nation, and what obtained subsequent to that. For that period, there was no guide, there was no youth policy, there was no program to address the interests of. So you see now what's happening. A lot of our young people are moving into crime.
Just hear me. You can imagine the inspiration of our late founder leader,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's inspired even the youth in school. We
Yeah,
have national
that's right. The YBNCC, the Young Brigade and National Cadet Corps.
Right. The YSM.
Mm-hmm.
The people's militia, the housewives,
Mm-hmm.
all he bring out there in unity so that we could have this kind of paramilitary thing along with our Guyana Defense Force.
Our women, they were at home, and Fort Burnham exposed them to training. They could operate tractors, bulldozers,
Right.
front-end loaders, cars, trucks, anything. All those, I know hundreds of women that I have interviewed while I was at the Ministry of Information who were very complimentary in terms of the opportunity that was afforded them while being part of the Institution of National Service to be trained in these areas.
Yes, and the late First Lady, Mrs. Viola Burnham,
Yeah.
she had the WRSM,
Mm-hmm.
you understand me, which she teaches a lot of young women and big women and housewives, you understand me, to do things, you understand me, so that they could have been diligent to add on in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like our President, Honorable Excellency President David Arthur Granger, and our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Moses Nagumuto and the Cabinet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Restore that.
Okay.
The spirit of the LFS Burnham. And
Yeah.
get these youths them.
Bring back this concept of self-sufficiency. You remember we used to import raisins and currants and all those things, large quantities,
They take plant, black eye.
and we begin to do our own kind of carambola
Yes.
to make fruits and so on.
He said be local and buy local.
That's right. That's right.
Me to juice
Mhm.
the local products.
Uh-huh.
You understand? I could have made button with coconut shell.
Uh-huh.
All form of ornament, ornament for pen and all
Mhm.
these things. You understand?
Mhm.
They got to get to be obedient. You understand me? To the laws of this country, the motto of this country. You understand me? They are not educated of the motto of this country.
Yeah, and I should tell you to say by getting involved in self-sufficient activities nationally will save the country much needed foreign exchange.
Yes, sure, you're right.
Yeah.
And then again, right, everybody here, but the oil, and the gas, right, this ex-mobile stuff.
Mm.
This thing, it is good.
Mm.
The youths of today and those intellectuals,
Mm.
they got to get themselves in stream so that they could get the knowledge about this thing so that they could be employed. been employed like that.
My friend, what you're saying there is just what earlier caller had said, because the the various kind of reporters and the columnists in the various newspapers have been talking about the local content. Now, you're talking about our local content. The past administration has done nothing to train our people to get them engaged in issues like the oil industry. Right. It is only now that the government is addressing this whole idea of getting our people equipped with the kind of knowledge that they can play a meaningful role in the promotion and development of our oil and gas industry. Local content is dependent on our skill and ability to perform, to do the job that is required, and you got to be trained.
Yes, and then again, all the focus must not go only upon the oil and gas. What about our natural resources? We have a lot of things.
That's right. That's right.
We got to get involved in to, be productive and efficient. And
that's right. Independence is being dependent on yourself.
Yes. What I think should happen, and I would like our dear president to get the cooperation. Understand me? Fired those elder ones who are out there. Let the youths of today and tomorrow come together in unity, and united we stand, divided we shall fall. And I rebuke the falling in any relationship.
Yes, okay.
Understand me? Thank you very much, brother. You have a blessed day.
Yeah, thank you very much for calling. Okay. Yeah, that's a very passionate patriot saying what he thinks need to be done as far as our independence is concerned, our work. Morning, you're on the air.
Morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I want to say that at the time of independence, was the same time that I gained my independence, I became 21.
That was the voting age, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am looking at our last celebration there, and I wondered to myself, after 52 years, where we have gone. We had a minus, 52 years.
We had a minus?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we had 23 years of minus, of things not happening.
And
a lot of things would have happened to bring us to that understanding that what we are and where we were going. And I hope that the last few years, which would have re-energized, rededicate,
reignite.
Yes. Everything is a re.
Yeah.
From what we suffered in the 23 years of not being educated in a way to take our country forward. And from what I am blind now, so I can't see. Over the past few years, I have heard of the tremendous effort to rebuild our country. One of the things that I'm sorry now that our country is moving into a direction of full development, I'm sorry that we do not have the Co-op Bank and the Agricultural Bank and the many things, the institutions that were set up for our takeoff. And we have to understand that without these things, we have got to call for them to reunite ourselves with true development. Not the, I would call it an artificial development that was on the minds of the people. And to remove from the youth especially that this country do have the potential to make you what you want to be, especially in the black minds. Remove themselves from being told that you are at the bottom of the ladder and that you are unable to do anything that is positive. Remove from them the sight of seeing other people getting by and
yes,
doing things that I would call it false information.
Yeah.
How that everything is being put in place. You have the GRA that is really working to make sorting.
Yes, I think they're doing a tremendous job.
Yes, that what you are calling business and where you are getting the money from, they are examining all those things, make sorting that they are on the right track, and the government can earn revenue
Mm-hmm.
It will go into the development of the areas that the youth are calling for.
Yeah, I like the point you made in relation to the reestablishment of the agri development, the agri
Yes,
bank.
food bank.
I attended a symposium a while ago, and I remember that was a point that was raised. If we're going to talk about accelerating our development in relation to agriculture, then there need to be specific emphasis being placed on an agricultural development bank. But we had that. These are all part of the package that Forbes Burnham had introduced. But like you have said, we have lost our way for 23 years.
And I hope that we can, through yesterday's initiative of the flag raising, putting the youths in front,
Yes.
so that they have the power to,
Mhm.
regenerate
Mm-hmm.
and do come forward to develop this country.
Mhm.
What you call it? The school of the East Coast,
The President's College, yeah.
Yes, was one of the college. Was one of the places where you were taught
Mm.
to excel in whether you are young.
Mm-hmm.
I hear some things come out of that school that they used to put, 6 of you around one bucket.
Mm.
The survival instinct.
Yeah, train you in every area
Yes,
of life skills as well as academics.
exactly.
Life skills and academic was crucial, and they were exposed to agricultural development. So when a person came out from there, Forbes Burnham was really training you to be leaders
Yes,
Mm.
within any area.
in any area. That's right. That's right. Mhm.
This was not seen by our last administration.
Mhm.
The National Service was good for the youth.
Mhm.
So many of them could have put their hands to better things other than putting it on a gun. And
Yeah, that put a check on crime for sure.
Yes.
Mm. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you very much. We might just be able to take our last call. Our time is running out right now. So, morning, you're on the air.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yes, I was one of
Just turn on your television, please.
the National Service Corps, so serving in the National Service for a number of years.
Mm.
And those points that you raised there about Forbes Burnham, I don't think none of our other presidents have left a legacy behind that, you could point to and say that this president did that and that president did this.
Mm.
I don't think we have a lot of legacy left behind there.
Mm.
Other leaders.
Well, Forbes Burnham is already the best because he's a Caribbean man of the 20th century.
Yeah. He had so much of vision that, it's a pity that he gone, depart so early.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a way better than where it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pity he depart so early because his vision that he had for Guyana, people may want to say that he banned this and banned that. It wasn't really banned,
No, there was a kind of restriction as a result of the availability of foreign exchange. There was no banning or nothing.
Nothing right. There's some people still have a mentality in them that, it wasn't.
No, I had a program on this air where I had people who were involved in the Department of Trade and Economic Development, where they made very clear there was no banning by Forbes Burnham of anything. He had restrictions on some items, which included split peas and so on. There was no banning.
Correct. Well, you see, due to education purpose, a lot of people don't get it that way, that it was a restriction and not ban,
Yeah. Mm, yeah.
The propaganda machine put it that way.
Yeah, the propaganda machine.
Yeah, to pin a bad picture on him,
Yeah, I understand you. Mm.
Yeah, man. Very good program.
Yeah, thanks for calling. We were just addressing independence and if people wanted to raise the issue of young people and crime. That's why I gave where the lines are all open all the time. I might be able to sneak in one call more. Thank you very much for coming through.
Okay, man.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that is it. There was no banning of anything in Forbes Burnham. There were restrictions you had to deal with. Morning, you're on the air. This is my last call.
Yes, morning.
Yes, sir.
I just want to mention about Tuckborough also.
Yeah.
I was speaking about Tuckville.
Tuckville.
And there was Tuckborough, Burbis.
The Trade Union Congress Village, that's Tuckville.
Right. And Tuckville, Burbis.
But the Tuckburg is what? Trade Union kind of Congress?
Yeah.
Kind of
yeah,
Burbis?
section. That's
Okay. I get you now. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
the one is the greatest I feel of the many great things that Burnham did
Uh-huh.
was that
All right.
simplicity of government.
Mm-hmm.
he brought government down to the simplicity, the president, the cabinet, and the Mr. Neville Assembly live right up the road from me.
All right.
He walk out his dogs in the morning, right here among the people, all of that. This is the simplicity of government among the people, and until that is the greatest form of government.
Yes.
Where you listen to the people directly. Sophisticated form of European government where only time you see Obama is on the TV, I can't make it in our society.
No, you can't make it this
If we go that way, it will fail.
All right.
I am not attached, then I'm gone.
Yes.
Thank you. This is the modern world. If I'm not attached, I'm gone to another country.
All right. Thank you very much. I want to say thank you to all our viewers. That has been my last call. Today we have been dedicating this program directly to independence and Forbes Burnham. We allowed people to talk about crime as well, and I gave some highlights as to some of the areas that, some of the development that occurred subsequent to 1966, areas that Forbes Burnham thought was necessary, and he addressed them with alacrity. And those are areas of young people, of women, crime, education, training, crime, everything. Forbes Burnham was just there to address all these issues. I want to say thanks to our viewers. Thanks for having me in your living room, your bathroom, your kitchen, your bedroom. I'll be with you again the 4th Sunday of the month of June, when we bring to you another program, The State of the Nation, that comes to you through the auspices of the Forbes Burnham Foundation. My name is Clayton Hinds saying thank you. Until then.
Everybody, jump and be merry. Oh, we welcome independence to guide. Thank you, Britain, for the years of colonial ruling. We now sing songs of praise to remember those happy red days. Independence has its purpose, which will not be a racial